phylum Annelida. See in this figure, three animals are shown. This animal in the left side is Nereis. It is a marine polychaete. The middle one is an earthworm, and the third one is leech, which is parasitic annelid. So these are three important representatives of phylum Annelida. The annelids are cosmopolitan in nature. That is, they are found everywhere in the world. There are nearly 20,000 living species under this phylum, and these animals, they are aquatic and they could also be terrestrial. Those forms which are aquatic, they are marine as well as freshwater, and terrestrial forms are mainly earthworms and certain leeches which are found on the land. All polychaetes, to which this Nereis belongs, are marine in nature. So polychaetes are marine, and rest of the animals like oligochaetes, which comprises earthworms, and Hirudinea, that includes leeches, they could be freshwater or terrestrial in nature. But all these which are terrestrial, they prefer to live in moist areas. The important characteristic of these animals are having a metameric segmentation. That is, their body gets divided into a number of segments, and all such segments are actually true segments. That is, not only external but even internal segmentations are there in these animals, and these segments are almost equally equal in their width. So that is why we refer a term that is metamerically segmented animals. And these animals are triploblastic in nature. That is, their entire body develops from three distinct germ layers, that is ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. And they have true coelom, the cavity which is seen between body wall and alimentary canal. That cavity is formed actually by splitting of mesoderm, and in this case the schizocilous coelom is found. So these animals are coelomate, and the cavity is referred as schizocoelomate cavity. They are elongated animals and they are bilaterally symmetrical. This is an important feature, that all these animals are elongated, and that is why they are referred as worms. And in these animals, the distinct head portion could be seen in so many of them. In case of earthworm, the anterior region and posterior region may not be so distinct, but yes, distinct cephalization, that is head formation, is seen in annelids. And their body is covered with cuticle. Cuticle is a protein covering around above the epidermis. So this cuticle is secreted by epidermis, and that forms the external covering. Then they have muscles, like circular and longitudinal muscles are there. So dermomuscular structures are there, and that makes their body much flexible, because if you cut the section of these animals, transverse section, you will find the arrangement of circular muscles externally, followed by longitudinal muscles, and contraction between these muscles help the animal to contract to a considerable level. So contraction and expansion in these muscles are regular events which help the animal in locomotion also. The locomotory structures are in the form of chitinous setae, which are also referred as chaetae, and there could be presence of parapodia, which are laterally arranged structures found in majority of polychaetes. Then let us have the look on internal anatomy, particularly the different systems. See, these animals possess well-developed organs. That is why we can say that there exists organ grade of body organization. So the alimentary canal, that is a straight tube starting from mouth and then getting differentiated into buccal cavity, pharynx, stomach, parts of intestine, and then rectum, and finally it opens outside in the extreme posterior region in the form of anal opening. So this alimentary canal is a long tube, and respiratory organs are almost absent, and these animals, they respire through the general body surface because the integument becomes internally or in the lower side vascular, and that helps in the diffusion of gases. So respiration is through general body surface, and blood vascular system is well developed in these animals, and that is closed type. Closed type means there are closed blood vessels through which the circulation of blood fluid takes place, and structures like lacunae, which are small spaces, or sinuses, are totally lacking in these animals. So that is why there is closed blood vascular system, and in majority cases the blood looks red in color because of hemoglobin pigment present in them, but that pigment gets dissolved in the plasma. Excretion occurs in these animals through nephridia. So there are segmentally arranged nephridia. They are so many in number. They are spread in several segments of the body, and certain parts in the nephridia will be opening in the coelomic cavity, and its one end may be opening outside, means externally. So the excretory contents are released outside through the external apertures. Then nervous system, that consists of nerve ring around the pharynx. Ventral nerve cord is paired, that extends the entire length of the body. This is another important point, that is bilobed brain could be seen in these animals, and then there is a nerve ring around the pharynx, or including oesophagus, and then the ventral nerve cord is a paired structure, and there may be segmented ganglia present in the ventral side of the body. These animals may be reproducing sexually or asexually, and sexes may be separate or united, that these animals may be dioecious, that is male and female sexes are separate, or monoecious, that is such animals may be bisexual. And development may be occurring direct, like in case of earthworm, or indirect, and that will be occurring through the larval stage, that is trophophore larva. Then let us come to the classification aspect. There are three major classes, means presently the zoologists have divided this phylum into three major classes. These classes are Polychaeta, Oligochaeta, and Hirudinea. So let us see the salient features of individual classes and the animals which belong to these classes. Under this Polychaeta, the animals are Nereis, Aphrodite, that is sea mouse, Chaetopterus. These are some of the important examples of this class. And as I told in the beginning, these animals are completely marine in nature. They are found in marine conditions. They are marine worms. Their body gets divided into a number of segments. Well-developed lateral outgrowths called parapodia with many setae, and then a distinct head present with eyes, tentacles, cirri or palps, Then sexes are separate. So these animals are dioecious. External fertilization takes place, that is, gametes are released outside the body when the animal become sexually mature. Then they come together at a place, or maybe in the oceanic regions. A large number of such animals will be there, and they will release their gametes. So there would be chance of cross fertilization between or among the different groups residing in different areas, and the larval stage found in them is trophophore larva. Nereis is one of the well-known examples under this, and this Nereis, important thing is that when it changes sexually, when it gets reproductively mature, then it looks morphologically different. Its parapodia gets enlarged in almost half portion of the body, and then it is referred as heteronereis. So the sexual and asexual region in heteronereis become distinct. Now a large number of, means maximum number of annelids belong to this class, that is Polychaeta. Then the second one, class 2, that is Oligochaeta. Oligo refers to the moderate number of setae present in the body, and these setae are very minute in nature. In the previous case, that is polychaetes, several means setae are there, so that is why it is referred, that was referred as Polychaeta. And in case of earthworm, you find the moderate number of such chitinous structures. So these are freshwater or terrestrial, means they could be present in moist soil. During rainy season, one can spot a number of earthworms outside the soil crawling on the ground. Parapodia are totally absent in them. Setae are found in each segment, but they are minute. Head is not distinct in them, so it becomes it becomes difficult to distinguish the anterior and posterior areas. Clitellum is present. This is one of the important features of earthworm, that is presence of clitellum. That is a glandular portion and secretes cocoon in which the developmental stage actually grow. Then these animals are bisexual, that is males and female sex organs are found in the same animal, and development is direct. The examples under this are Tubifex, Ferretima, and Lumbricus. A number of earthworm species are there, and they are found in different parts of the world. Some of them could reach their size quite large, means more than a meter. So the third one, class 3, is Hirudinea, and these animals are freshwater. They could be marine also, and some of them could be terrestrial. These animals are parasitic or predatory in nature. They are blood-sucking animals. So sanguivorous in nature, means they can parasitize several vertebrates, several different kinds of animals, and they suck their blood. So they are parasitic in nature, and that is why they are considered to be sanguivorous, that is blood-sucking animals. Setae Archaea are totally absent, parapodia are totally absent in these animals, and it is hemocoelomic fluid and the muscles, their contraction and expansion help the animals to move. They usually possess suckers. Posterior anterior suckers are found in them, and anterior suckers are used for making grip with the host body, and then they are capable to make cut in the body of host and suck the blood. Coelom is much reduced, and that gets filled with a special kind of tissue called as botryoidal tissue. This is another important feature of these animals. These animals are bisexual, that is males and female sex organs are found in the same animal. They are hermaphrodite actually, and fertilization is internal. And then Acanthoptera, Pontoptera, Hirudinaria, and Hirdo. These are important genera, and these genera includes hundreds and hundreds of different species of leeches or parasitic forms, and they are one of the important groups of annelids animals.